The Guns on Pegs podcast is brought to you by iTap Group. Hello and welcome to the Guns on Pegs podcast. My name's George Brown. I'm in Hampshire. It's sunny. It's a bit blustery. We've had a bit of rain though recently, which is nice.
And I'm Avian, and I'm in the Azores at the moment, out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So it's about 28 degrees, no sunshine, it's quite muggy, but the wine's cold and life's good.
Excellent. More on that later.
It's Jake in Suffolk, where there's a few clouds in the sky, but it's been a nice day today, but much needed rain this week.
And it's Sam in Devon, who is going to agree with both Jake and George on the rain front, and everything is looking nice and green now. And obviously slightly jealous of Avian.
Yeah. So, Avian, what is the local drink in the Azores?
Well, there seems to be mainly fruit liqueurs. We've tried some of the Azorean wine, and I have to say...
You mean slow gin?
No, there's passion fruit rum is one of their big ones here.
Oh, wow.
But they do a lot of... I hadn't realised the Azores is famous for its dairy herds. The island is as green and as lush as you like, but it's volcanic. So we had a tour around the island yesterday, and you've got all of these very, very steep peaks up to the calderas, and the cows on them are pretty much on one leg. It's that steep.
Wow.
But everywhere is lush green, so they do a hell of a lot of cream liqueurs and fruit cream liqueurs.
Ah, you're in heaven.
It's pretty good. Yes, I'm getting larger. I may need 2 seats for the way home.
Have they got any cream egg liqueur out there, buddy? Because I know you're enjoying that.
I think we could steal a march on that one, mate. Introduce them to the cream egg liqueur.
So Avian, what is that you're drinking? Have you got some local hooch?
Well, they do a local IPA, which is very nice. Like I was saying, the wine isn't up to much, so we've been drinking a lot of Douro Portuguese wine. But I thought I'd try this. So locally, there's a pineapple farm, and apparently they grow it a bit like they grow rhubarb, so it's forced in greenhouses. And as part of the tour around the island, where they pretty much stop you at every catch penny and exit via the gift shop, we spent a rather bewildered hour in an industrial estate looking at these pineapple plants. So this is a pineapple beer, which
Pineapple beer.
Yeah, it's quite cloudy. It does look like a rather unpleasant hospital sample, but I thought I've never seen a pineapple beer brewed where they grow the pineapple, so we'll give this one a try. That's pretty terrible.
This is a beer, I'm assuming, flavoured with pineapple post brewing.
I don't know. But whatever they've done it wrong. I think that one might be for exhibition purposes only. Anyway, I have tried an 1864 Cerveza de Ananas. It's awful.
Cerveza de
All
Ananas.
fruit
Very
beer.
nice.
Oh, God, no. It gets worse.
You're not bringing a case of that back then?
Definitely not smuggling that back, no.
Oh, I enjoyed that. Jake, what about you?
So I have... Do you know what? I was given a couple of recipes for the kudu buck.
Oh.
And
yes.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, he is a British Indian chap with an incredibly great handlebar moustache, ex-cavalryman. And he said, Jake, do you know what, buddy? He said, you've got to use that Ophir gin, is it? That gin, which is Ophir?
Ophir.
Ophir. There we go. So I've tried that. I only think that gin tastes nice when you're having a curry or something like that at the end of the evening. Had a curry, tried that with a bit of ginger ale and some vodka. Really, really nice. And you both chaps, Georgia and Ave, you've had the wood chicken curry at Branches with me.
Yes,
I have.
And
It's
I
very
think
good.
And that's very, very good using the partridge and the pheasant. So, guys, I reckon that might be a winner for there. So I've tried that. Our friend Richard Prideaux also gave me a call and said, Jake, what about trying something from the hedgerow? So he was telling me about using hawthorn berries and rose hips and making a syrup using that. So I haven't done that yet, but that's the next plan. But Ava, I know we've been talking behind the scenes as well. So it's coming along, but I haven't had time today. We are busy at work and what have you with bits and pieces. So I've just grabbed something out of the fridge that I was given just recently, which is a collaboration brew Berkshire Barley from Renegade and Surrey Hops. It's called Homegrown Pale Ale. It's a 4.5 ABV, gluten free. Guys, it's a pale ale. It's Friday. It's going
Fill your
down.
boots.
Can't go wrong.
Lovely.
Can't go wrong.
Just one thing, Jake, on the whole cocktail thing. Now, I'm not a very skilled cocktail maker, but I'm an enthusiastic cocktail consumer. One thing, you don't have to add vodka to everything.
Isn't that how
I
cocktails
thought
work?
that was a ketchup. There we go. But yeah, it was more to keep it in line with the mule ave. But I kind of I'm open to suggestions. So if anyone has got any more suggestions to make a kudu buck, please get in touch.
Yeah, I just need to clarify this. So the Moscow bit is obviously the vodka, and the mule bit is the bit that gives it the kick, which is the ginger. So for it to be a kudu buck, it needs neither the vodka nor the ginger ale.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, probably. So, like I said, it started with the one that was bloody awful a few weeks ago. We're moving along. There's places for it. We're kind of, let's keep it going. I'm loving trying them, I must admit. So,
I think it's your innate marketeer, Jake, isn't it? Come up with a name and then backfill the product afterwards.
well, isn't it? You start with the title and work backwards, George.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Couldn't possibly comment.
Right, moving swiftly on. Sam, what's that you're drinking?
Well, in booze news, you guys know I've made my first batch of sloe gin,
Get
which
in.
is already cooking. It's been a fantastic year for berries. That some of the sloes around here are like watermelons. They're absolutely
unbelievable.
stonkers. So I made my first batch of that, and then I was gonna grab a nice local wine to have with you chaps this afternoon, but it seems I'm more on Azor's time than Avian was, so I had to skip that in a bit of a rush, and I have just grabbed a Kronenberg 1664 from the fridge.
Oh,
I'd do well.
Good old supermarket lager.
Park bench
Supermarket
lager.
lager.
So you'll be sitting in your Astra GTE with the stereo on later, will you?
Absolutely.
Good man.
Absolutely. Driving up and down Exmouth seafront with my tunes blaring.
George, what have you got for us this afternoon?
Well, in celebration of the fact that the shooting season, I think, has now officially started. I don't really, grouse, glorious 12th and all the rest of it. It's all very nice for them as gets to go and shoot grouse, he said point.
Sore point.
But I think for me, the 1st of September has always been, when it really kicks off proper. And so I have got some of I don't actually know if it's sloe or damson because I'm very bad at labeling bottles. But it is some of last year's brew made with sloes or possibly damsons picked 2 years ago.
Excellent.
And because it's still 20 degrees, I have got a lot of ice and a slice of lemon in it, and it's extremely good.
Did you freeze the fruit for a year and then make it the following? Any reason behind that, or?
Yes, I'm like a squirrel in that I store food or store supplies for lean periods. And as you said, Sam, this year is looking like a mast year in every respect.
Yeah.
And I am squirreling away vast quantities of sloes and damsons and everything else because we've had 2 pretty crap years.
Yes.
And with 5 or 6 shoot days here on the farm and taking gifts places and drinking it on podcasts and stuff, we get through a lot of the stuff. And so I don't like the idea of having to go and buy any or rely on bottles of sloe gin turning up. So rather than take that risk, we have been harvesting fruit like mad. And we picked several kilos of damsons the other day. We picked probably 5 or 6 kilos of sloes, and we'll have another go in a couple of weeks' time, probably on the sloes. I think the damson's pretty much done. We harvested some wild plums. And so, just to make sure that we have a stock of fruit. We were literally thinking this year has to be a good one because we used all of the fruit last year, and thankfully it's been a good one. But yes, the whatever it is very nice, chilled and over ice. So it's very good. Right. moving on then. So, Avian, you're in the Azores. You're not, I gather, sport fishing.
Sadly not, no. I mean, we're here for good friend's 50th birthday. It's been planned for quite some time. And to be honest, it kind of passed me by that we are now slap bang in the absolute high spot of marlin season. So we've arrived in, and the main town we're in, Ponta Delgado, there are about 36 American sport boats in the harbour here just for the season. And there's one in particular, Anthony Shea. He's a West Coast American financier, and I think he made his money in sort of payday loan type things. But anyway, he managed to become a billionaire, poor lad. And he spent it on a navy and an air force by the looks of things. So he's got this thumping great big sport boat, and the support vessel is about 180-foot battleship type thing, which has his smaller sport boat for chasing the marlin. They crane off the top of it, and he's just like, oh, for God's sake. And we've got the other guy, I can't think of his name now, the chap who set up GoPro and then sold it to the Indonesians for 125 billion. He's here with his boat. And reports have it that they're catching marlin out there in the £500 plus mark.
And have you haven't had an invite out on either of these boats?
Well, strangely, we clearly don't drink in the same bars. So, no, they haven't had the opportunity to invite me out.
It's them I feel sorry for.
Well, it's only a 185-foot support boat. He probably hasn't got enough lager on there for me, has he?
And what else has been going on then, Avian? What else is new?
So we've been in that tentative moment with the down on the chute where the birds are starting to leave the pen, but we're hoping they sort of leave a bit and come back a bit. Not too many have gone to the farm. We aren't losing too many to the buzzards this year. We've kept on top of the foxes. So we're in that terrifying moment, I guess, like your child's first steps. Will they go and find the covers and live happy lives and be there when we want them, or will they look over the hill and just bugger off? So we're in that stage with them at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got our Czech duck shooting day coming up. So me and Sam and a couple of other reprobates are going off with Hubertus hunting in that's 2 weeks now, Sam, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's soon coming round.
And we picked that one through. That was on Guns on Pegs last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we got that. That'll be good fun. Although when the paperwork first came through for that, obviously the Czechs don't call themselves Czechs. They call it's Czechia, but I misread it as Chechnya. So I had a horrible feeling I might have to go back to the other lads and say, guys, I think we might be in a slightly different country to where we thought. So anyway, we're looking forward to that. And then as soon as we get back from there, my wife and our new puppy from the Kudu River line, who apparently is virtually trained now. Is she fully trained, Jake?
They come half trained, but you've been a spaniel owner for a while, so I'm just going to tell you they come half trained and leave it at that.
Fully trained to a spaniel owner.
Fully trained for a Labrador. So yeah, we're looking forward to welcoming a Labrador to our spaniel mix. So we'll have no skirting boards or shoes or table legs or chair legs or anything for a while. And in the downtime on the flight and in the airport, I don't know if anyone knew, but apparently Richard Negus has written a book. Was anyone aware of that?
Yeah, I had heard something about that.
I think
Richard
somebody
who?
mentioned, didn't they? I don't know. He's some hedgy chap. I don't know. He waffles on a podcast somewhere. But anyway, Words from the Hedge. I'm about a third of the way through it, and very begrudgingly, I have to say, it's a bloody good read. I'm enjoying it.
It's great. I really enjoyed it.
I'm looking forward to the audiobook on that one, and yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Jake, how about you? You've been hobnobbing. It's been a really, really busy month with the syndicate shoot. The birds are out now. That's been really cool, keeping up with the feeding of them. Much like you, Ave and George, I'm sure once they go, you're like, are they there? Are they not? So yeah, they're still hanging around at the moment. So that's really good. Work's busy. We're Southern Hemisphere breeding now. So the covering barn doors opened on the 1st of September. The stallions don't shuttle down to Australia or New Zealand, or should I say, two of the stallions don't, and we invite mares to come up to see them, which is proved very, very successful. One of our stallions does go down to New Zealand, and it's his second season down there. So, but yeah, busy with covering mares at work, so that's all good. And then it's the 1st of September on Monday, and I had a very, very nice trip up north to Water Priory.
Again?
And again.
You must be bored of the place now, surely. You've been there 7, 8, 9, 10 times.
No, second year. This year I was photographing, and last year I had the pleasure and privilege to shoot. But to be out on the 1st of September with just the best team was just epic. Toby came again this year. He, funny enough, wasn't lying about the shot counts on the people that he was helping loading on these drives, unlike he was for my drives last year.
Funny that. The only time he was inconsistent was when you were shooting.
Yeah. But, Water Priory is an incredible place, chaps, and we've spoken off air and up to this point, but it speaks for itself. It's world-renowned for just incredible. But I just wanted to share with you what the day actually was. It's 4 drives of this beautiful, beautiful part of the country. But they have about 70 people that help with the day. It's not a them and us type of feel. All the beaters, the pickers, all the hosts, they all enjoy having 11s with us in the field, coming and seeing us before. Now, don't get me wrong, your guns are put into a Polaris and you're all looked after and everything like that. But there was about 30 to 35 beaters by my recollection. There was easily about 8 picker-uppers, and you didn't see a picker-upper until afterwards. And then they would just go through and sweep around. They would walk around the guns. They would come up and talk to you. Everyone was, so kind of like welcoming, which was lovely. Frank and Connie, obviously, and may I just say congratulations to those two because they've just recently got married.
Oh, brilliant.
Peter, the bus driver, who is an absolute legend. Anyone that's been to Water Priory will have met Peter. He is a bugger for making sure that your glass doesn't stay empty. You're like, Peter, I've got to drive. And he's like, yeah, but that's in an hour's time. So what a lovely guy. Haley and Amanda, they are superstars. They do the hosting and making sure that everyone's well looked after, taking you to your guns. The loaders, Dave, Andy, Neil, Hugo, all those chaps, and there's so many more. And then the kitchen staff and the lodge ladies. Goodness me, guys, they put up with some stuff and they make epic food. Epic breakfast. So, and then there was us lot, so it was a fantastic day. A pleasure to be out. Really, really enjoyed it. So, yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell, really, chaps.
That sounds like you and me are really slumming it, aren't we, Jake?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Let's come back down to earth. Sam, what have you been up to?
That's really coming back down to earth. Nothing exciting at all, really. Yeah, general farm duties. Making a bit of slow gin, as I said. Spent most of the month doing the rain dance to get the rain that we've had this last week, and everything is looking lovely and green now. Nice. Although I'm sure it will get to the point in a minute when we'll all say, stop bloody raining.
Enough already.
But yeah, I've been chasing His Majesty's Passport Office to ensure that I can go away and play with Avian in a couple of weeks' time. And it has been nice. I don't want to rub salt in the wound, George, but it has been nice to see some photos going around of people enjoying some days on the grouse. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not feeling bitter about it at all now, actually. I think...
next year, George. Next
year.
It's your year next year.
Yeah.
It has to happen at some point.
It's got to. Yeah. It's got to.
Definitely.
What have you been doing in lieu of not grouse shooting?
What have I been doing? Well, so I'll start at the beginning. I've had what can either be termed a catastrophe or a giant success. My wife was away with the kids in Slovakia for a few weeks, and over that time, one of the hens went broody, and then about 5 days later gave up on the project as a waste of time. So there were 12 eggs. I thought, oh, well, I'll just pop them in the incubator. They won't all hatch.
Go on.
Anyway, I'm now the proud owner of 12 little bantam chicks, taking the total population of chickens to 29.
Wow.
And the proximity of divorce even closer.
You can't claim they arrived overnight on rubber boats then?
No. So yeah, that it was a bit of a dilemma. So they're in a brooder box in the utility room at the moment. They're very
What's
nice.
the boy to girl mix? Do you know yet?
Well, I haven't really tried sexing them yet, but I'm going to guess about 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
So
If you're
it's going to be
lucky.
a lot of coq au vin over the next year, I think.
I was going to say, are those cockerels going to be any good for Christmas time? Will they? How the rearing? Is it probably a bit too soon?
Well, the only problem is they are bantams, so we're going to need one per person.
Yeah,
I was
there's not a
thinking
lot of
that,
meat on a bantam, is there?
no, quite.
No, I think mainly soup.
Mm.
But it was a very fun project, and the kids love having them about.
Excellent.
Not on Monday, on Tuesday. So I wasn't quite out on the first, but the second was a pretty close approximation. I was out with a fellow member of the Most Noble Order of the Garters, James, and he had organised for us to go and fish the test. But also he wanted to try and achieve a McNab of sorts.
Mm.
His original intention was a Hampshire McNab. So a brace of partridge, brown trout, and a roebuck.
Mhm.
In the end, he managed so we fished in the morning. Then we went off to a local estate and we walked up some partridges, and then went back to the river in the afternoon. Before breakfast, he'd gone out with the stalker and had bagged a muntjac.
Mm.
So he managed a muntjac, a rainbow trout, and a brace of redlegs. So I don't think we can call it a Hampshire McNab, but I have got a name for it.
Go on.
They're all non-native species. So I'm going for the McNigel.
Very good.
So yeah, he's very pleased with that. That was a lot of fun.
That's a
we had
cracking
really nice
day.
time. I caught my first ever grayling.
Really?
Which is lovely.
I
on a dry
love
fly.
graining are fantastic fish, aren't they? The lady of the stream.
Yeah. Lovely.
And what's
really
ridiculous? We used to fish on the Kennet for them, and back in the day, on all the chalk streams, they used to. I think was it towards the end of the winter, they'd have a grayling day.
Yeah, they used to try and clear out all the grayling. Yeah,
That's right.
seen
They'd
as
have a grayling day and a fish fry on the riverbank, and try and take them all out. That was back in the day when it was kill everything unless it's a trout. Which
yes,
I'm glad
and if
we
it's a
moved
trout,
on from.
kill it as well.
And kill it as well. Yeah. No, but I think they're magnificent fish.
Yeah, lovely, beautiful things. So just to sort of add some further spice to things, I had a message from my sister-in-law, who Jake will know on our shoot days produces fantastic quail's eggs, Scotch eggs.
Oh yeah.
And she messaged me and said, would you incubate some quail's eggs for me?
You're becoming quite the dab hand with this incubator.
Well, 100% hatch rate, it's understandable.
Absolutely, mate. Guaranteed.
So
Brown's hatcheries.
You should give up now.
Yeah. So she's got 24 quail's eggs arriving in the next few days, so they're going to go in the incubator. And depending on how this goes, I think next spring I might have a go at hatching some grey partridges.
Why the hell not? Definitely.
Get on.
Yeah, I mean, they're a full release, and safe in the knowledge that we may never see them once they've been released. But I think it would be quite fun. Anyway, so
definitely.
that's the plan. So yeah, it's been a lovely little time.
Brilliant.
So you're talking about the amazing quail eggs, Scotch eggs that's made when coming to yours and what have you. But I brought a couple of brace home the other day and of partridge from water. Did I tell you I've been to
Have you been to Water Priory, Jake?
There we go.
You
And
didn't
I
mention
got
it.
in there before you boys did. And I didn't really know what to do with them. So I got hold of friend of the podcast, Hugo Campbell Hill, the game glutton, and asked him for his advice on a dish. Now, my idea was that I would look for the end of the summer salad,
Add vodka.
using kind of like wild... using like rocket and then a bit of colour, a bit of feta, partridge, but a bit of chili and X, Y, and Z. And I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Yes, but no." He said, "And leave it with me." So what Hugo did was he's come up with this really, really good recipe for a pan-fried partridge with purple chard, roast fine tomatoes, smoked garlic cream, and a chili crunch. And he sent me the ingredients. the recipe, everything to do with it.
Oh, you've got to share that.
100%. And he's had a crack at making it today. He sent me the pictures. He said, "This is what yours should look like." So I'm going to make it over the weekend, gents, and then I'll compare. But how good was that Hugo came up with that idea?
Oh, puppies.
What you can hear in the background is Avian's Velociraptor, along with its brothers and sisters. I can assure you all pups are fine, but yes. So anyway, back to the podcast. Good old boy. He got really stuck in, got really kind of passionate about it. He hates feta, by the way. So if any of you ask for anything feta in your game day kind of 11s that Hugo makes through the game,
you won't get it.
You won't get it.
You won't
Absolutely,
get it. Yep.
Definitely won't. But maybe George, we can put that recipe and what have you in the show notes. And if anyone's interested in having a crack with partridge, I just thought it'd be really nice. And Hugo, bloody good egg.
Very good egg. Good. Well, yeah, that sounds like a very good plan. Now then, for this episode, I wanted to basically revisit the little game that Digby and I played at the end of the previous episode that he and I recorded together, the Dead Alive fictional shoot day guests game. We'll call it the Dream Team. Now, I've obviously already done one, so I don't need to do it again. But I thought we'd get each of you to pick your selections for this and put together a dream team of guns. Obviously, with 9, none of you guys get to shoot, so you're going to be loading for your guests. But I thought it would be quite fun.
Definitely.
Before we get into it, though, a little while ago, I wrote a piece on what the perfect shoot team looks like, the kinds of people who are involved. So, for example, I said you need at least one person who can really shoot.
Oh yeah.
So that you will get the joy of watching that person shoot, and to help you keep your team ratio to a reasonable number.
And that's obviously why I go on so many days.
That's why you're loading, mate.
Right, yeah. But you also need someone who really can't shoot.
Yes.
So that the rest of you feel like you're, okay.
Quite. Yeah. Did wonder why my invites were up this year. So
and you need the person with the stories.
Yes,
absolutely.
You need someone
Bring the
who
day
really
together.
knows. Someone who really knows their booze. Someone who can be guaranteed to have a spare pair of ear defenders or cartridge belt or lead or whatever. Just someone with all the gear and spares and that sort of thing. So I was wondering, before we get into this, who are the other characters who you might think of who you really need on a shoot day?
I think you need somebody who can count, because you always get that. I was on 3 last. What am I on this one? So it's really good to have somebody who's pretty handy with a bit of mental arithmetic to get you to the right place.
Yeah, it's nice to have someone who takes good photos.
Yes,
helps.
Yeah, somebody who remembers to take photos, because I think I love taking pictures on a shoot day when I'm shooting, but it's very easy to forget. And you get back at the end of the day and you think, oh shit, I missed the 11s spread. So I think somebody organised in that way.
I was going to say I've had some brilliant shoot days and then got to the end of it and thought, I'll put something on Instagram about that. And I've got one landscape photo of me looking back from a peg over a line of guns that you can barely see, taken on an iPhone. So
the one that the camera went off on the floor of the gun bus, and you got sort of a shot up everybody's garters, haven't you? I think the other member of a shoot day to make it really successful is the guy with a sense of humour. In as much as if something goes wrong, if there's a back gun needed because they're a bit tight, the sort of guy who'll just go, yeah, fine. The shooting isn't the most important thing. The day is. And somebody who will just muck in and say, somebody's hurt their foot. Well, I'll go back to the gun bus and pick your gun up, or I don't mind backgunning this one, or I'll join the beating line. We're a bit short. Somebody who's got that sort of esprit de corps.
Yes, quite almost a captain, really, isn't it? I think if you can have in a team someone that that you can have a really good laugh that isn't going to get offended, tells a yarn, almost a Billy bullshitter, but we've all been around for such a long time that the stories. You were probably there when it actually happened, and he's heard you talking about it at the pub. That type of person that you can rip the mick out of the entire day.
That person usually also the worst shot?
Generally.
Yeah, very often. Yeah. Well, actually, this is one that I had in my article. Is you do have to have the storyteller or the one with the good repertoire of jokes, but you kind of also need their sidekick, either to be the straight man for the story, or to be the one to say, "What about that one about the vicar and the ostrich or
Yeah.
whatever it
Setup
is?"
man.
The hype.
So they're kind of an external memory bank.
Yeah.
And I think also that it's useful if that person remembers everybody's names and who the
Yes.
links are and
Yeah.
so and so. Because I often think if you're in a group of people, maybe you meet once or twice a year. I'm terrible with names, but to have somebody there who just makes that.
Yeah.
Sort of oils the wheels and keeps everybody comfortable and remembers whose partner's whose and which people are no longer together.
But you do need that, like the introducer, don't you? You know, that person that goes around who has
the ambassador.
Are they the same person that goes around with the drinks when it gets a little bit dry, and you can see the kind of like the team are saying, these guys have drunk 6 bottles of fizz, they're on 7 bottles of slow gin, and then someone's behind the bar opening up, going, "We're just helping ourselves to another one over here. Yeah, who's next?" And then you go on, get your glass filled. A bit of a
I think they probably are. They're this sort of social lubricant, aren't
the
they?
fluffer.
I like that, George. Social lubricant. That is brilliant.
And then obviously you need a billionaire to pay for it all.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, that always helps. Yeah,
you could tap past one of your Americans, buddy.
So, with that in mind, we'll get into the dream team. So, just to remind everybody, this is person that each of these guys is going to pick somebody who has passed away, somebody who is still with us, and somebody who is entirely fictional as their dream shoot day guests. And we are going to start with the dead ones. Sam, kick us off. Who is your dead shoot day guest?
I would like to take Prince Philip, the late Duke of Edinburgh. He was one of those. There's 2 reasons. First of all, I think he's probably got some access to some fairly good ground. So selfish from that point of view.
Wise, yeah, good plan.
But he was one of those people that I didn't realise quite how much he did until he had passed away. So I'd almost like to try and relive some of the time that he spent in the field. You know, he was a royal patron for, it was Wagby first, wasn't it? He was a keen wild fowler. Then on with Basque, he liked his game shooting at Sandringham. He did huge amounts for conservation, and did a lot more than I certainly realised he did until he'd passed away. So it would be go back and live some of those days with him, or one at least.
Yeah, very good. And
good
I suppose that means we've solved the billionaire conundrum already.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. We've accessed the funds in the ground. That's brilliant.
I'd imagine he probably knows his way around a wine list.
I'd be perfect for
I'd
it.
expect so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a very good choice. I'm prepared to bet he's a pretty decent shot.
Yes, and he's probably quite good fun as well, I'd imagine.
Yes,
he'd definitely have a story or two, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
yeah, he would, and probably a decent dog. So a great choice. Avian, then. Okay, your dead shoot day guest, please.
I'm going to go for Oliver Reed. I think Oliver Reed, I don't know if he was a sporting man, but big rugby fan, just a man's man. And I think certainly 11s would be utterly chaotic. The gun bus would be a complete riot. And I think it would have to be night before, night after that, the night after that, and then probably a week in hospital. But you'd never forget it. I mean, there's a story was recounted about Oliver Reed where he met a bunch of rugby players in a bar, I think somewhere in Spain, Porto Banús or somewhere. And he was drinking with them all day. And apparently the evening rounded off with the local police being called because there was a naked Oliver Reed standing in the fish tank kicking lobsters at the staff.
Wow.
Now, if that's not a way to finish a shoot day, I don't know what is.
That's phenomenal. I'm sure it was him as well who was at the theatre in the audience. And it got to sort of the halfway through the first act. and he nudged the person next to him and said, "Ooh, watch it. This is a good bit. This is where I come on." Oh shit!
But I've also heard a story of Oliver Reed there, where his local pub, they had a tortoise on the bar, and it had a hole. Now this could be anecdotal, and it had a hole that sat a whiskey tumbler, and he would send it to the end of the bar, and if he was drinking with one of his celebrity filmmaker mates or just anyone, and by the time it walked down, it got refilled and sent back, and this tortoise would walk up and down the bar. Now, if true or fabled, well, just a chap of just awesomeness. And how cool would that be? You'd be like, Oliver, and he's like, yeah, I'm just sending you whiskey, and a tortoise brings it to you from the other end of the bar. I think it'd be bloody awesome.
Because I think, didn't he used to have a mansion next door to Keith Moon? And there was a story told that apparently Keith Moon was in and out in his helicopter at all times of day or night. And the noise really pissed Oliver Reed off. So apparently he went out in the middle of the night with his shotgun and took pot shots at Keith Moon's arriving helicopter.
So he was a sporting man.
I mean,
although he may not have a license anymore.
And apparently, by way of apology, Keith Moon bought him a life-size fiberglass rhinoceros and planted it on his drive.
Love it. Oh, what a time to be around. The stories from those chaps would be epic, wouldn't it?
I don't know how he'd get on with Prince Philip, but...
Yeah, well, it'd be either a sort of explosion or best
match
mates
made
forever.
in heaven.
Yeah. Okay, so Jake, who are you adding to our shooting party?
So I'm going to go with another royal, but I'm going to go with the Queen Mother, purely for her stories, much like Prince Philip with Sam. But can you imagine how cutting she would be? You know, when you walk in from a drive and you're like, like I've just shot really well, and did anyone see that left and a right? And you're really on cloud nine, and then she'd just be there. Oh, good God, no, not again, Jake. Come on here. And I just think, not only would she have great chat, she lived in a time where I think, men were sent off shooting. The ladies stayed at home, but those ladies were such a important part of the shoot day of that time that she would have incredible stories about previous shoot days. I'm sure, and I would hope to think that she probably got to shoot quietly and privately as well. She would have had a very, very good dog or two. And I'd just love to be around her and just hear the stories and the put-downs.
She's also going to be really like the gin and Debonnet as well.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. Yeah. So it won't, her and Oliver Reed will get on, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There was a tale from the household that apparently she used to, in her private quarters, there was her and Queen Mary and a couple of the other previous queens. And on the intercom, she rang down to her equerry and said, when you queens have finished gossiping, these queens need another gin.
Love it.
But she was quite the salmon fisher as well, wasn't she?
Was she? Was. Was it Megan Boyd who tied those flies for her?
Could be, because I know some friends of Mum and Dad's, they fished a lot on the Balmoral beat. And they said they were working their way down the river one time, and this small elderly lady was sort of catching up and sort of almost pushing the rod ahead of her down the river. And this lady was getting rather irate until she looked round and decided, obviously spotted it was the Queen Mother, tried to curtsy in her chest waders that promptly filled up with water, and she just teddy bear rolled down the river.
There's a story, I think it must have been about the Queen, who was out walking at Balmoral and encountered some American hikers who were walking on the estate. And she was obviously, wrapped up in a headscarf and all the rest of it. And these Americans said, and we gather the Queen's at home. Have you ever met her? And the Queen turned to her footman and said, I haven't, but you have, haven't you?
Love that.
Right. Well, I think that's a pretty good start. So we're going to move on to our alive candidates. Let's turn the order around. Jake, you can go first.
I'm going to go with another Hellraiser, in the form of Joe Marler, former rugby star, prop man after my own heart. He is an incredible rugby player with a great attitude on the pitch, played for Quins and also for England. But he's also a host with Tom Fordyce on that podcast of theirs, What People Do podcast. Now, I reckon he'd just be good fun, wouldn't he? He'd be that Joker type, but I think he'd be that captain type. That'd be like, I'll go back, I'll go to the MPEG, go on, you stay here, you have
Yeah.
I know I'm peg 5 or 6, but I'm going to do the long walk. Yeah, and he will. But I just think he'd be awesome. He'd have a chat, he'd call you out. And
he's a pest, though. He'd be the one slipping a black powder cartridge into your cartridge bag, isn't he?
Yes.
Exactly it. That's exactly. Or he would kind of like moony you to put you off or do anything, just an all-round rugger bugger type kind of play. I'd love that type of chat on a day. But, chaps, he is alive and he does do a What People Do podcast. Should we try and reach out? Anyone that knows him, like Joe, Tom, get in touch. Let's do a bit of crossover here. I think this is something that we can make happen, 100%. But how much fun would he be, chaps? And
I think
Joker.
so.
Yeah, he'd be great. Very good choice. I like that a lot.
Mm.
Okay, Sam.
I'm gonna go for Vinnie Jones with this one.
So another sportsman,
and actor. I think Vinny would be great value for money. I think probably like Joe Marler, he's got some stories to tell. He'd speak up. He'd have a laugh. But he's also, he's a passionate countryman as well. He's a keen shot. We all know. I think his series, Vinnie Jones in the Country, was good. I would have liked to have seen some more involvement of shooting from him, but I understand why some celebrities try and shy away from it a little bit. But no, he's a good advocate for what we do, and I think he'd be a good laugh. Definitely be a good laugh.
Yeah. One thing I've always wondered, that pair of shotguns in Lock, Stock?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think he kept them?
I'm pretty sure they didn't throw them in the river.
I don't know, George. Is there a backstory to it? Like, are they missing or something, or do you think were they hid?
No, I don't know. I just often you hear about actors keeping props or keeping a costume or something like that. I just wonder. I don't know what his fee for that movie would have been. Probably not that much, actually. But
no,
I wonder.
I think that was one of the early films.
I was going to say that was early days.
I don't really want the money. I just want the pair of Hollands.
Yes. Yes,
definitely.
Or were they deactivated and had to go back to the armourer?
They probably were. How very boring.
Shame. But he'd be a great shout though, wouldn't he? And
so which character would he be? I mean, he'd be more the enforcer, wouldn't he? I mean, if Vinny told you to go down to peg 9, you'd go.
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
you would. Yeah,
no ifs or buts.
That said, I'd do it if Joe told me to as well.
Absolutely, yeah, very much so with those two. Yeah, you don't want him slamming your head in the Polaris door either, do you?
I remember growing up in Wimbledon in the 80s where Vinny was playing and Dad would take us to Plough Lane and you would stand there in awe of like him, John Fashanu, all those other, Dave Bassett, that 86 team. They were just incredible. And I met him luckily at the game fair a few times. And he walked onto the Melville and Moon stand after the 2021 game fair. And he walked in there, and I just looked, and like a schoolboy, I was like, "Hi, Vinny."
It was probably in my first couple of weeks at Guns on Pegs. The phone rang, and because I was the office junior at that point, I was sort of the first line of defence when the phone rang. I answered the phone. Hello, Guns on Pegs, George speaking. And this guy went, "Oh, hello, it's Vinny." I was like, "Okay, how can I help?" And it was only about 5 minutes later that I was like, "Oh, that Vinny."
I mean, I am surprised looking at his, you go back to his football career, Jake, that he actually ever got a firearms license. But obviously,
I think he was very good with his hands and grabbing bits and pieces, but I don't think he was that violent, was he? I mean, they were good tackles.
Well, I'm sure I heard him tell this story somewhere that he, in an interview or maybe on that TV show, that he there was an occasion when he deliberately got himself sent off so he could go lamping.
Yeah.
Legend.
So that's very good. Okay, we're building up quite an interesting team here. So, Avian, who are you adding to the roster?
Well, bizarrely, we didn't confer before we put this list together, but very much in the Vinnie Jones stable, I'd like to go with Guy Ritchie. Now, I know can be seen a little bit Marmite, but obviously growing up with Lock, Stock
Beer's
and
rubbish.
Tasting Women was questionable at one time, but I mean, obviously, I grew up with Lock, Stock and Snatch, and a lot of the films he's made. They're unique, aren't they? I mean, his approach to filmmaking, very quick, very fast. But I think all the way through, in every film he's ever done, there's always a nod to the worth of country life. It's not when he did The Gentleman and the Gentleman series, it was taken as that's what he's done. It wasn't shied away from. It wasn't politically positioned. It was just, this is what we do, and this is a good thing from the countryside and a good thing for the country. And again, I just think, it adds that little bit of Hollywood glitz. I think some of the people he's been in touch with and worked with over the years, the stories would be amazing. I'm fairly sure he'd probably be a little aloof from the rest of us, but I don't know. I think he'd be an interesting addition to the group. And you probably need somebody to remind him of which stories to tell next.
No, do you know who I think he would be in the group?
Go on.
He'd be the guy that brings the food. There's try a bit of this salmon, and I bought a bit of that. Just bring that out, and someone that is a bit of a feeder.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say he can come as long as he donates one of his. Is it called a fire table? Have you seen these?
They're epic.
They're unbelievable. I mean, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called a fire table, and it's sort of an outdoor dining space that's got sort of a firebox so then your table is around the firebox, and you can rake the coals into the middle of the table and cook your food over the barbecue there. It's got a sort of chimney. They're really good, and they are very much price upon application.
Oh, right.
And
if you have to ask, you can't afford them. Yes.
They are seriously, seriously cool.
Yeah.
And you can get the sort of deluxe version that comes with all the tools and crockery and all the rest of it, and it all just sort of hangs. They're unbelievably cool.
I think Lunch in the Field is sounding really rather special now, isn't it?
Well, they're in the Gentleman and the Gentleman series, aren't they? So, and then also Beckham's cooking at them. So when you see them in the film The Gentleman, when they're talking the Hugh Grant in the barbecue, so and they're cooking outside. I can't think of the other character's name, but that's one of those cooking tables. Also in the series The Gentleman, when Ray Winston's wrapped up and he's kind of been looked after, that's also one of those there, and they're epic bits of kit. I wouldn't like to think it's going to be maybe five figures. Got to be 5-figure sums.
Yeah, I think you could probably buy a house.
Yeah.
for less than his outdoor kitchen.
We've already got some fairly punchy people coming, so we should be all right from that point of view, shouldn't we?
Well, I think so, and I think the movie adaptation of Our Day's Shooting would be rather good fun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we've got 3 more to add. So these are our fictional characters. Who's not gone first yet? Sam, you haven't gone first, have you?
I went first. Avian hasn't gone first.
You went first. Avian hasn't gone first. Go on then, Avian.
Okay, I struggle with the fictional because I thought, well, where do you go with that? But after much deliberation, I've decided to go for John Wick, the Keanu Reeves character, because I think he's just immeasurably cool. You'd want him on your side, not against you, obviously being the world's #1 hitman. But I just think, we could stay at the Continental Hotel as his guest, which would be rather fabulous. And to have him back gunning, absolutely nothing would get through the line.
Yes, very good shot, I would imagine. Yeah. Okay, good. Maybe a bit violent.
I think he's only violent if pushed. I mean, let's face it. He only went on a rampage because somebody killed his dog.
Yeah, whatever you do not shoot his dog.
There is
no ground game on that day.
Okay, good. I like that. Sam?
I need a ground game allocation because I've decided, and it'd probably be a separate shoot day, I'd like to take Elmer Fudd out because many years ago, me and a good group of friends used to go out and sort out rabbit problems that local farmers were having, and it was I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit hillbilly, but we controlled a serious amount of rabbits that were about at the time, and Elmer Fudd never seemed to have much luck with the rabbits. So I kind of feel I'd be giving back a little bit by taking him out for an evening's lamping, and he could fill his boots, couldn't he?
He could. Well, I mean, maybe the problem is he's just not very good at ground game. Maybe he'd be better off.
Maybe he's a closet wing shot. Yes,
potentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think he'd like to bag a rabbit, though, wouldn't he?
He would.
Yeah. I mean, is a blunderbuss accepted in the line or not?
I think it depends if it's a hammer gun or not.
Right. Okay.
Which I think it was, wasn't it? But
yeah, I think so.
Or maybe that's where he's going wrong. He just needs a good over and under, and he'll be away.
I've just got this picture now of like a Looney Tunes type Who Framed Roger Rabbit shoot day, where we've got, we've got some of the hardest men in Hollywood, and then we've also got these cartoon characters, and
three ghosts.
Well, that Bugs Bunny's popping up, and three ghosts as well. So we're going to need the Ghostbusters as well. So brilliant.
Excellent. Okay, and finally, Jake, your fictional character.
It's straight up best action hero there's ever been is Superman, but to keep the peace between Laura and I, it would have to be the Henry Cavill.
Okay.
So basically Henry Cavill, but as Superman in a fictional kind of basis. But there isn't a better. He would be polite. He would be helping. You wouldn't quite know who that person was. Maybe he's a photographer. Then all of a sudden he's there shooting. That type of
yeah.
I suppose if he missed that glorious high bird, he could sort of like reverse time and let you have another go.
He just uses laser eyes and done. He won't miss, buddy.
That's not very
I have an important question, though.
Go on.
He famously wears his underpants on the outside. So he's going to wear his socks over the top or underneath his breeks.
Or his where would his garters go?
Is he going to be one of those that wears his Sherful gilet over the top of his waterproofs?
Yeah. That is a top tier callback.
Well done, Samuel.
Good man.
Oh, fair play.
That was very, very good. Well done. So do you think does he have to be in his Superman costume, or can he wear breeks?
Well, no, you see, would he wear breeks, and would the pants be over the top?
Would he be Clark Kent? Would he be all nerdy on the peg?
Yeah, I think he would be, but you would just see all the kind of the ladies, the wives, the hosts, they would be surrounding him. They'd just be like Henry Cavill, there we go, that type, chiseled jawbone. There's us, slightly podgy from a slow summer and trying to suck it all in. And then all of a sudden it's Adonis who comes in and he'd just be polite when he'd carry all the gun slips.
But that's the thing. I mean, if he was there as Superman, he'd be rushing around, picking up the birds before they hit the ground and sorting everybody out. If he was there as Clark Kent, he'd have left his gun on the bus and he'd drop his cartridges in a puddle and he'd probably trip over his peg marker and he'd just be an awkward oik, wouldn't he?
Good chat. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. I just went with trying to keep Laura happy and giving Laura Henry Cavill for the day. And all your wives, of course, So, I mean, Laura's not greedy. But yeah, it's this has been brilliant. It's how much fun. What a team.
Yes.
It's a hell of a team. So just to recap then, we have got the Duke of Edinburgh, the Queen Mother, Oliver Reed, Vinnie Jones, Joe Marler, Guy Ritchie, Elmer Fudd, Superman, and John Wick.
That's a hell of a team.
That's going to be a good day.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day.
Which, and watch this for a link, leads us on to where are we going to go? And therefore, grand day out.
Silky smooth, George. Look at that.
Absolutely.
What a segue.
Just knocking them out. Just straight pat.
So smooth. Now, I wanted to... normally, we would just pick a day from Guns on Pegs that comes in at under £1,000. But Digby mentioned this at the end of the last episode, which is this new feature for Guns on Pegs premium members.
Yeah.
Which is the sealed bids feature. So this is for when shoots have had a last minute cancellation or something like that, and they've got a day they need to sell or some pegs they need to fill at short notice, and they're kind of prepared to take a best offer on the day. So an opportunity to really pick up some great bargains. Way to make sure that the shoots are filling the pegs they need to fill. So this is one that came in this morning that I thought I'd highlight. And it is back-to-back days at El Qudiyya in Morocco with William Powell Sporting. 6th to the 7th of October, 250 bird days shooting driven Barbary partridge. The list price is quite a long way over our grand. The list price is £3,700 per gun, including VAT. But obviously that includes, I think, your accommodation and stuff as well. And William, just to give you an idea about how all this works, William Powell put this little note saying, we've not received deposit payments for 3 of the 8 guns booked on an upcoming syndicate trip, and we're therefore left with no choice but to re-let them. Given our strong relationship with Guns on Pegs, we'd like to extend the opportunity initially to you to join the line at a special reduced rate. Please do feel free to make us an offer. There's nothing to lose, and you could secure yourself 2 exceptional days of shooting in Morocco. Now, for that team, I would say that would be a heck of a destination.
It looks. I've had a look online. It looks stunning. I think it's a 12,000 acre estate, and it looks like something out of Star Wars. It's mountainous
like the
and
surface
desert.
of the moon. Yeah,
it's just amazing, and it's impossibly glamorous. I think it's about 30 minutes from Marrakesh. 5-star accommodation.
Yeah, I mean, amazing, and sort of 11s is in the field in sort of Bedouin tents and all that business,
and with meeting with the local Berber tribes, and it just looks like a complete once in a lifetime. You'd have to scrape your pennies together and put a bid in, wouldn't you? You never know. I mean, whatever you got that for, if that was within your budget, that would just be what a trip.
So when you say it's 3,700, but put your bids in, is that 3,700 ONO?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you could put in a silly bid, Sam, and they could just you be the winning bid, and you're going there for £500.
Yeah, okay. I don't think my silly bid would be that high, but
well, there's a silly bid and then there's a daft bid.
I believe you said that there'll be George will be right in thinking there would be a reserve price on this.
Yeah, I think there's normally a reserve price. I don't know what it is in this case, but
no, of course not. No, obviously not. But
I mean, even at the full mark price of 3,700. Now it's way beyond my means, but that's 250 bird days. Now
I was going to say that's
250 bird partridge day in the UK is going to run you what, 1,500 to £2,000?
2. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. It's not cheap.
And the opportunity to shoot Barbary partridge out there. I mean, I did look very quickly. They said expect very cold mornings and very hot days. So you wouldn't be full tweed, I don't think, would you?
Was this the same place where Johnny Carter went earlier this year and filmed?
I don't know if it's earlier this year, but I know he's been. Yeah,
he's been in that film he did with William Powell and everything. Yeah, on YouTube. Well worth going and getting yourself. Maybe go and pour yourself a drink. You'll listen to this on the day of release, which will be Tuesday. You've had a long day at work. You go and get a nice bottle of red on the way home. You watch YouTube when your wife's gone to bed, and all of a sudden you're like, "Do you know what? I think I might just go and put a bid in." And then before you know it, you'll be like, "Sugar, I've just won. Wife, we're going to
we're going to Morocco." I mean,
we've packed it.
I think I may go and buy a couple of scratch cards down at the local lotto desk just in case.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, what an incredible time. Best of luck. I hope they get it, because I think I'm going to be using. I was speaking to Gemma earlier, George, and there's one of our days which I'm going to be doing the similar thing. So that'll be for a November date. Watch this space
I
for
mean,
that. I think it's a brilliant.
There's 3 guns available. So in the extremely slim chance that somebody filled out the Guns on Peg survey and wanted one of us as their alive guest on a shoot day,
Are we available?
We're in.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't think I'm doing much on the 6th to the 7th of October.
You better hope your passport gets in for your September day first.
I've got I have passport in hand. Will travel. Fuck it, I'll load.
And there goes the R rating.
Well, on that note, I think we should probably wrap it up. So thank you very much, guys. That was a lot of fun. All that remains for me to say is that there's a final reminder that you can get your hands on a pair of the very exclusive Guns on Pegs podcast shooting stock garters by sending us your shooting dilemmas for us to resolve, or by sharing your unpopular opinions, your forgotten drives, your podcast suggestions, and I think your dream team suggestions. I'd like to have some of those come in.
Yes.
So get those in. Drop us an email to pod@gunsonpegs.com, and if we read your submission out in any future episodes, we will send you some garters. That's your lot. Keep sending in your follow-up thoughts. Chris and I are going to be back in a couple of weeks' time with a special guest. We kind of had a few kind of slightly out of the ordinary episodes recently, but we're going to be back on the sort of normal services.
Back on the treadmill,
exactly, with special guests for the foreseeable. So from all of us, thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Wow.